Welcome again in this mechanical ventilation module. Today I will discuss on ventilator graphics, that is scalar and roofs. This is lecture 3 of this mechanical ventilation module series. This topic is very important for exam like PDCC exit exam, IDCCM exam, IFCCF exam, European Diploma in Intensive Care exam, and as well as practical utility while managing patient on ventilator. Ventilator graphics mainly includes scalars and loops that is based on four measured parameters: flow, volume, pressure and time. This graphic display will help to know what is the mode of ventilation, determine the patient ventilator desynchrony, tell about the work of breathing, assess and adjust the triggers level, also help to adjust the tidal volume and minimize the over distension, detect auto peep, help the clinician adjust the ventilator setting, and so on. So at first I will discuss scalars. There are three basic scalars and all are against time. Scalars mainly is a graphical representation of pressure, volume or flow on y-axis. This is the y-axis and this is x-axis. Y-axis always include the time, x-axis always time, and y-axis pressure or volume or flow. So mainly three types of scalars. One is the flow versus time, another is the volume versus time, and third one is the pressure versus time. If patient on volume control ventilation, it means the flow is constant, square wave flow pattern, but pressure will be variable here. Pressure is variable. Now look different scalars if patient on volume control ventilation at first, then I will discuss different scalar on pressure control ventilation. The first scalar, that is flow versus time if patient on volume control ventilation. So this is the constant flow, square wave pattern, or constant flow. This is the inspiratory flow, inspiratory flow and expiratory flow. Inspiratory flow positive if present, always positive if present on positive pressure ventilation, and expiratory flow negative. In spontaneous breathing pattern, it is just reverse. So it is very important to know the in the positive pressure ventilation patient, the inspiratory flow always in the positive direction and the expiratory flow in the negative direction. Now, the next scalar is the volume versus time. So here is the volume in the y-axis, in the x-axis time, and this is the zero volume, 200 ml, 400 ml, 600 ml, 800 ml, and so on. This is the inspiration and this one is the expiration. So because of the constant flow, the set time will achieved by ventilator in this is approximately 600 ml. During the expiration, this is the inspiration, this one is the inspiration, and during the expiration again it become 0. So if you divide this into equal part by perpendicular line, then what goes in that should be out in case of the volume versus time scalar. It means if less come out mean there is leak, and if more, here area under the curve is more, if more come out it means patient taking active exhalation. Active exhalation. Now third one is pressure versus time scalar in volume control ventilation. Y-axis here pressure, x-axis time. As I already discussed, pressure is variable if present on the volume control mode. So here the pressure is the variable, the peak airway pressure is the variable in centimeter of H2O water. How can you recognize this pressure versus time scalar? So most of the time we are putting patient on ventilator with at least some amount of PEEP. So if we are putting the patient on some amount of PEEP, then this one is the baseline pressure. So the PT scalar always have, if you are putting some PEEP, then always have some baseline pressure and you can diagnose easily. If we apply inspiratory pause for 0.5 to 1.5 seconds, then this pressure versus time scalar will be like this. Initially, if you don't apply the inspiratory pause, then it is like this. If we giving the inspiratory pause of 0.5 to 1.5 second, then because of the inspirative pause, it look like this. This is the P peak pressure, or also known as peak inspiratory pressure. This one is the P plate pressure or alveolar pressure, P plateau pressure or alveolar pressure, and this is the baseline pressure. In the previous lecture, we already discussed about the equation of motion, that is total pressure to require or overcome the resistance, airway resistance, and the elastance of the chest as well as the lung, that is P peak, is equal to flow into resistance plus volume divided by compliance. So by giving the inspiratory pause or inspiratory hold, the flow become 0. So P peak is equal to volume by compliance, that is P plate pressure or alveolar pressure. Hence, when flow is 0, P peak become equal to P plate. Hence, in volume control mode, different scalar look like this. This is the flow time. So inspiratory flow and expiratory flow. Here flow, here time. This is the volume, time, and this one is the pressure, time, measuring both P peak and P plateau pressure if you are giving the inspiratory hold. Or if there is baseline pressure, then it looks like this. This one is the baseline pressure. Now let's discuss these scalars when present on the pressure control ventilation. So here pressure control means pressure is constant, but flow and volume both variable. So first discuss flow, time, scalar. As we know that initially the airway opening pressure is positive due to positive pressure at mouth opening, and alveolar pressure is 0 to -1 centimeter of S2O. So there is pressure gradient, and because of that there is flow. So initially, because of high pressure gradient, flow is also high. After some time, this alveolar pressure becomes more positive, so this pressure gradient become reduced and gradually the flow become decrease. Hence, in the pressure control ventilation or pressure support ventilation or PSIMV, in all these conditions, flow is descending type. Because of gradual decline of pressure gradient. So in this mode the flow time scalar look like this. So this is the descending ramp. Flow time, this is the inspiratory flow and this one is the expiratory flow. Now the next scalar, volume versus time in PCV mode. So pressure is controlled, hence volume is variable here. So this is the y-axis volume, x-axis time, and look here, volume is variable. So just like this, volume is variable. This is the inspiration, this one is the expiration. And pressure versus time scalar, in case of the pressure control mode, pressure is constant, so like this. So pressure is constant, here time, here pressure, that is the centimeter of S2. After this, at first we will discuss first pressure versus time curve. Pressure versus time scalar. On the basis of this scalar, at first we gather some basic information and then some ideas about the pathology. Basic like how to identify spontaneous versus mechanical breath, controlled versus assisted breath, components of inflation, pressure, and then these are the basic, at least you should know, and then we will discuss how we'll diagnose some abnormalities on the basis of this pressure versus time scalar. What abnormalities? Like increased airway resistance, decreased lung compliance, whether inspiratory flow is adequate or not, and what will be the effect of high inspiratory flow. So first basic one. It is spontaneous versus mechanical breath. Pressure, time. So here, look here. In case of the this one is the spontaneous breath, and this one is the mechanical breath. So in the spontaneous breath, inspiration is negative due to triggering by patient. So negative inspiratory effort and expression is positive. This one is the inspiration here in the mechanical breath, and this one is this is inspiration and this one is the expiration. On the other hand, this mechanical breath is totally controlled breath when patient is paralyzed or completely sedated. So look here, there is no negative spike. So this is the difference between spontaneous and mechanical breath on the basis of pressure time scalar. Now controlled versus mechanical breath. So here some baseline pressure, that is P, and this, see, this negative deflection is due to the inspiratory effort by patient, the pressure triggering. Time. If the patient on completely controlled breath, patient has the completely controlled breath, then this negative deflection will not present in case of the controlled breath. So on the basis of pressure time curve, we can also differentiate controlled breath and assisted, control and assisted breath. Now the next is components of inflation pressure. Baseline pressure, this is the peak pressure or peak inspiratory pressure. This one is the P plateau pressure or alveolar pressure. This is the trans airway pressure. Here inspiration begin, this is the inspiratory pause, and so this point is the beginning of expression. So from here to here this is the inspiration, and from here to here there is beginning of expression to the ending of the expression. So these are the component of the inflation pressure. And always this, as here we can measure the to peak inspiratory pressure or PIP or peak plate pressure. So such patients mainly on the volume control ventilation, because we know that in the pressure control ventilation the pressure is fixed, pressure is constant. So as here the pressure is variable, so we have to measure, we have to look these pressures only when the patient on the volume control ventilation, when there is a square wave pattern of the flow. Now again we will discuss equation of motion. So P peak is equal to flow into resistance plus volume by compliance. So this P peak will rise, will increase when flow is high, when resistance is high, when volume is high, and when compliance is low. So now how will you diagnose the causes of increased P peak, whether it is due to the increased flow or increased resistance or increased volume or decreased compliance? For that we have to measure the P plateau pressure by inspiratory hole. If P plateau pressure is normal, that is less than 30 centimeter, 25 to 30 centimeter of water, it means P plateau normal, it means the cause of increased P peak is due to increased flow or due to increased resistance. And the graph will look like this. Time, pressure, baseline pressure, so this is the P plateau pressure, this one is the P peak. Look here, P plate is normal, this gap is widened, and this is the trans airway pressure. So trans airway pressure is high, and this trans airway pressure is high is due to increased flow or increased resistance. Increased resistance is due to airway spasm like bronchospasm, laryngospasm, or ET tube or tracheal tube blockage because of mucus plug or blood clots, kinking of ET tube. So this all lead to increased resistance. According to that, at first you auscultate. If there is wheeze, then you nebulize the patient and look whether the P peak will settle or not. If there is blockage, then suction the patient, or if there is kinking, then remove the kinking. So if the etiology of increased P peak is because of that, then just treat them and again look for the whether the P peak is settled or not. If the in cause of increased ppk is not due to this reason, these reasons, then we have to look for flow, and for that we have to see the flow time scalar, flow time scalar. Inspiratory flow, and if flow is high, then this spiral pattern look like this. So this is the high flow. So here the cause of increase P peak and treatment is decrease flow. Now if P plateau pressure is high, this graph, then this one is the baseline pressure, here time, here peak airway pressure, and this like this. So now this is P peak, this one is the P plateau pressure, and this is the trans airway pressure. Look here, the trans airway pressure is normal, and the cause of increased P peak is because of the increased P plat, and this increased P plat is due to either increased volume or decreased compliance. So increased volume, tidal volume, or decreased compliance can lead to the increased P plateau pressure. So if the tidal volume is high, then reduce it and again measure P plat. If this is not the cause, then it is due to decreased compliance. As we know that the alveoli is filled with the air. If this air is replaced with no air, it means in case of the collapse of the lung, either absorptive collapse or compressive collapse. Objective collapse like endobronchial tumor, compressive collapse like in case of the pneumothorax, high pleural effusion, massive pleural effusion, hemothorax, then the compliance will reduce. If this air is replaced with fluid, that fluid might be exudative fluid or transitive fluid. Exudative fluid mainly in case of the pneumonia, consolidation or ARDS. Transitive fluid mainly in case of congestive cardiac failure, congestive heart failure, or loss of protein from the body like in case of the liver failure or nephrotic syndrome or protein losing gastroenteropathy. All these cause lead to decreased lung compliance. Other causes also are obesity, increased intra abdominal pressure. So this all cause lead to the decreased compliance of the lung, and hence this P plate mainly tells about the decreased compliance of lung as well as chest. To differentiate whether this compliance, that this the cause of increased P plate is whether due to the decreased compliance of the lung or chest, we have to measure esophageal pressure. I already discussed about this in the previous class. So on the basis of this component of inflation pressure, we are able to diagnose the causes of increased airway resistance, causes of decreased compliance, and according to that we can treat the patients. Now other aortitis we can also diagnose on the basis of this pressure versus time scalar. So before that I just want to discuss about the rise time. What is the rise time? The inspiratory rise time determines the amount of time it takes to reach the desired airway pressure if patient on pressure control or pressure support ventilation, or flow rate if patient on volume control ventilation. So this is the pressure time scalar, here pressure, here time, and this is the curve. This one is the rise time, this one is the rise time. It is set in percent of breath cycle from 0 to 20% of breath cycling time, or in seconds 0 to 0.4 seconds. So default setting are usually 0.15 seconds or 5%. Now problem is rise time. The first one is the prolonged rise time, prolonged inspiratory rise time. And it is because of that prolonged inspiratory rise time, because of that the tidal volume delivered is low tidal volume delivered on pressure control ventilation, and because of that the recruitment of the alveoli will affected, so the work of breathing become increased and there is a lot of patient ventilator desynchrony. hence to treat this, to reduce the work of breathing, this rise time should be left short. Now next one, the early spike. In PT scalar. This is due to too fast rise time. Because of that, there is overshoot in the pressure wave and that create a pressure spike. So on the basis of pressure time scalar, we can diagnose some pathology like airway resistance, compliance of the lung, whether the inspiratory flow demand is fulfilled or not, or what is the rise time, whether it is too slow or too fast. And one thing I also want to discuss, that is inspiratory flow demand, whether it is adequate or not, on the basis of pressure time. So is the baseline, and if so like this, if the flow is adequate flow, then this inspiratory limb will be uniform. There is uniform rise of this curve. But if it is inadequate, then there is concavity here, so it become like this. This shows the flow is inadequate. It means the flow set on the ventilator is too low, that is not fulfilling the patient demand, so you have to increase the flow rate. Hence, on the basis of this pressure time scalar, we can diagnose a lot of abnormalities. In next class, I will discuss other scalar like volume versus time and flow versus time. Thanks a lot.